Hey, thanks for joining us today at the Selah Circle podcast, where we help you pause, pray, and pay attention to what God is doing in your life. I'm Sherry Boykin, your host. Let's get started. Well, hello, happy Thanksgiving. So glad to be with you today. Not coming to you from home this time, but from Virginia, as I am away visiting family. So I wanted to say something to all of you because I know that some today are celebrating in grand form and having a wonderful Thanksgiving with family or friends or both. And I know that some of you, however, are struggling. Maybe there's something you're grieving, someone that you're grieving. Maybe there's something difficult that you're walking through, and thankfulness is the furthest thing from your mind and your heart right now. So I hope to have something that will feed both of you where you are. If you're in that first group and you are just celebrating till you can't celebrate anymore, God bless you. That's exactly the frame of mind we want to be in on a day like today, because ultimately we are thankful and we are celebrating the Lord our God. I'd like to read for all of us Psalm 100, my very, very favorite song of Thanksgiving, and share it with you so that you can enjoy it as well. Psalm 100. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. And just as I read that, I'm realizing that in one of the verses, I left out a little portion of it. So I want to go back up to verses 2 and 3. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. And some of you have translations that say this, and I love this as well. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us and not we ourselves. We didn't make ourselves. We have a creator. That's just for us to recall, to remember. So we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. I want to be sure we got that all in there. It is God's word after all. That's who we celebrate today. So if we're in a great place, we want to thank the Lord for it. If we're in a difficult place, yes, we want to thank the Lord for it. And we may say, well, why? And that is because we know ultimately God gives both those extremes in our lives. And he gives both those extremes to the just and to the unjust. That is the God that we serve. And when I say that, I don't want to sound like I'm giving you some circular reasoning that no matter what, she's going to say the same thing. No, no matter what, she, meaning me, I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is that God will use whatever heartache, whatever grief, whatever thing it is that is causing you to feel your walk, every step of it through the fire, he will use for his honor and his glory and for your ultimate good. That is what he does. And I know that when things hurt, they really hurt. I get that. And I want you to know that today we're celebrating 30 years. I am celebrating 30 years since that harrowing story that I shared with you in Indisputable Identity. The links for that are in the show notes below this podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, they are in the description. The link is in the description, that is. And it is my 3-day plan on YouVersion. It's a reading plan that will take you deeper into that story and into the scriptures that God used to pull me out of one of the deepest pits I have ever been in. And I was in that deep, dark pit for 3 years. And those 3 years, I feel like I gave away to the devil. And I hate to say that because you don't get that time back. But what I'm determined to do now is to use what God taught me in those 3 years in that darkened pit. I want to share that with you. I want to help you see how faithful God is. He will never go back on his word. He will never be unfaithful as a person in your life. He will never fail you. Now, let me tell you something about that, because some of you would say, oh, I have something, I have a beef to share with you on that. You may think that he has. And you may feel as though you have all the proof that you need, that you could win that battle, win that fight in a court of law. But I'm here to tell you that if you feel that God has failed you, okay, probably what you're confusing that with is that he has disappointed you, in the same way that you can disappoint your own child by not giving them what they wanted at the time that they wanted it for the reason that they wanted it. And what I want to share with you is that you need to wait a little bit longer. Okay. When you wait a little bit longer and you begin to pay attention to what God is actually doing in your life, what he is actually unfolding right before you, what you'll understand is that he is actually working that in as an integral part of your very being. He is moving you from where you are spiritually, emotionally, socially, and sometimes even physically to where he wants you to be. So I want you to see this today. I want you to see whatever it is that you're walking through as just a temporary state of being that will eventually unfold into something much greater than you are, and it will blow your mind, because it will be something that you eventually have a completely different perspective of. If you're feeling discouraged, steal away, get to Psalm 100, read through it maybe several times, and ask the Lord to give you that spirit of thanksgiving, give you that spirit of gratefulness that you wish you had, so that you can go on knowing that although this chapter may be difficult, that it is all for something wonderful. Believe in that. Believe in him. God bless.